Truple is accountability software. Now, accountability software is a little bit different from traditional online safety software solutions like a web filter or screen time app. Truple, as an accountability software, focuses more so on monitoring and reporting how the device was used than it does trying to block or limit access to something. We found that the solutions that try to block things, they can be effective at blocking very specific websites or apps, but they struggle with general concepts of content. So for example, a web filter can't block all sexual content. It can block a specific pornographic website like pornhub.com, but it's not going to block sexual photos on Instagram. Your only option with a web filter would be to block Instagram completely. And so this poses an issue for a lot of people with using a web filter in an effort to try to keep them or their loved ones safe online. And this is where accountability software comes in, because it allows you or your loved ones to use the devices as you want, but it reports that activity to someone that you choose. We call them accountability partners. So for a child, it would report it to a parent. But say you have a detrimental online habit, some sort of habit that you want to quit. So for example, pornography is a common one. Truple can help in that situation. If there's an adult who wants to quit, they can have Truple monitor their activity and then send reports to either their spouse or a pastor or a trusted friend, somebody that they have chosen and asked to be their accountability partner to help them to overcome that bad online habit. Now, Truple was launched in 2017, and it was the first screenshot-based accountability solution. And using screenshots and accountability software has kind of revolutionized the industry, right? A lot of this came about because back in the day, smartphones only had websites that you'd visit, and they didn't have too many apps, where now there's apps for everything, and you're using apps more often than you are a typical web browser. So the old school solutions that accountability apps used, which was monitoring what website was visited, they don't work as well anymore when someone's using an app. So for example, say your child uses Instagram, right? It's a pretty popular app, pretty common. Pretty much all of their friends are going to do it. But there are porn stars' profiles on Instagram, right? So, is that a concern for you if they start looking at that type of content on Instagram? I think it is. It's also concerning that Instagram's algorithm will try to feed your child through the feed that they open up content that they think they will be interested in looking at. So now you take a 15-year-old boy, it's 2 a.m, all of his friends have liked this specific porn model's Instagram profile, right? What do you think Instagram is going to shove in front of that child's face, right? And then you're asking that child to have the strength to withstand that temptation and not take a look at it. Now, Truple is a universal accountability software, meaning it works for all sorts of issues. However, pornography is certainly our focus, at least a key focus for us. And much of that is simply because it's a very prevalent problem. And it's one of the most concerning problems for most of the parents who have concerns about giving, complete access to the internet to their children. Now, Truple models the way that it works based on how stuff used to work back in the day, right? When you had a computer, like in the 90s, right, you'd set it up in your family room, it's in a public area. Mom or dad could always kind of peek over the child's shoulder to get an idea of what they were looking at. Truple does a similar thing, but it works for mobile devices as well, like smartphones or laptops, and it also works for desktop computers too, right? But the way that it works is it randomly captures screenshots. So it randomly allows the parent to peek over the child's shoulder. Even if the parent isn't there, they can still kind of peek over their child's shoulder, and that gives the parent insights into how the child is using the internet so that they can course correct or educate or help that child to use the internet responsibly. Now, A big reason why screenshots are also a big deal, not only are there fewer loopholes with them, but they also provide the highest degree of clarity about how the device was used, right? It is so easy to understand what was being looked at when you're looking at a screenshot because you're looking at the screen, right? It's difficult when you're just looking at a website URL that's asking you to log in. Well, if your child has an account and can log in, when you log in, you're not guaranteed to be looking at the same thing that your child was looking at, right? Okay, this is my Truple account, right? So I want to take you through it. Each one of these boxes is a device that is monitored on my account. I've got my desktop computer, that's what I'm recording from right now. I've got my phone, Honey is my wife, that's her phone. I've got an iPhone here. I've got my old phone listed. Now my old phone down here, this just says no event stats recorded in the past 24 hours. It's because the phone's been turned off. It's not a big deal. But these orange little alert boxes are here to call attention to certain items. Now, with Truple, as a parent or accountability partner, you'll get either daily or weekly reports sent to you that will include sort of this level of summary information saying, we captured these screenshots, there were so many high-risk screenshots captured, but once you get to where you want to look at any of the a little bit more privacy invasive details, you need to click a link in that email, and then this page will load after you log in, and you'll be able to view the screenshots, which is what I'm about to show you right now. So if we go ahead and click on this 176 screenshots button, it's going to load all of these screenshots, right? Now you'll notice with these screenshots, when I click on them, it looks a little blurry. Now this screenshot was actually captured less than a minute ago. So this is while it's recording, I've got Truple monitoring this device, right? But you'll notice it's blurry. That can be turned off if you want. You can have the screenshots be crystal clear. You'll also notice these black bars. That's a feature called text redaction. It's a privacy feature. That can be disabled as well, right? And I'll show you examples of that here in a second. But this is what Truple screenshots look like, right? This is what the report is comprised of. Now, there's a bunch of screenshots here. We recommend you quickly skim through them. Just look for anything that's concerning, right? So, right here I had a Facebook page of my friend open, right? And you can kind of get a sense of what's concerning there. Now, we also have algorithms that analyze these screenshots for questionable content, and it'll flag it. So you can, check that high risk filter, and now these screenshots are filtered down to only the ones that the algorithm thinks are high risk. So you can come in and click here, and this is, I did a Google search for men's swimwear, right? And then this is what loaded, and then the algorithm scanned the screenshot itself, and it found image content that was potentially concerning, and so it flagged it. Now these algorithms, they have a sensitivity level that you can adjust as well, right? So if you're finding it's flagging too much, you can make it less sensitive. If it's not flagging enough, you can make it more sensitive. Okay. So Truple on supported platforms will also record the websites that were visited as well, and you'll just get this kind of the traditional accountability software solution. You'll just get this big list of all the websites. If any of them are high risk, they'll get called out. We also have what we call the event timeline. And this is a little bit of like a haystack of data, right? You don't want to be opening this all the time, but say you have a question about how the device was used between a couple of screenshots, you can come in here and get a sense for exactly how the device was used. Now this event timeline also gives you information about how the Truple app is running. So perhaps there are situations where a screenshot was not captured, right? There are certain situations where we try not to capture screenshots, like if a banking app is opened or something of that nature, we'll try to make sure that content doesn't get captured. Now, that's not supported on all platforms because not all platforms offer the functionality necessary to be able to support that, but it is supported on Windows and Android. Okay, and then we also have a screen and app time report that we can show you as well. So I'm going to jump over to my Android phone, which is right here to give you a sense of this report. Now, we have a test website that we'll use called badexample.com. So I loaded this, about 40 minutes ago. And when the Truple app detects that a bad website was open, it immediately triggers a screenshot to be captured. So that's why you see these two screenshots here, and it also immediately flags the screenshot as high risk based on the website that was loaded. It's not flagging it necessarily due to the content of the screenshot though. So in this example, badexample.com, it loaded this cat, it's flagged as high risk, and it's flagged as high risk because it's a high risk website that was loaded. Okay. Now, you'll actually notice these screenshots are a lot more clear than the ones I was showing you previously. That's because I disabled image blurring and text redaction for this device, maybe an hour ago, maybe an hour or so ago. And this is the level of clarity that you get, right? You can very clearly see and understand exactly how the device is being used. Now compare that to, this is the same YouTuber, a screenshot of his page with image blurring and text redaction enabled, right? You can tell, okay, it's not anything sexual, right? They're on YouTube, but you don't, you can't see the exact video or any of those details shown here. So that's a privacy feature. Text redaction and image blurring are privacy features that the account owner can choose to enable or disable as they feel appropriate. So mom and dad, if you're monitoring your child's phone or your child's device and you feel like they have shown that they can live responsibly online and make smart decisions online, you can turn on image blurring and text redaction as sort of a baby step, right? From having everything be monitored to, now they get some privacy to at some point you take Truple off their phone, right? Now, when those points are, that's up to you to decide as the parent based on the child's behavior, right? But Truple is here to help give you those insights so that you can get a real sense for what your child is doing online. The one other thing that I want to point out is if you visit a bad website, if a bad website is visited, not only will it be flagged, like badexample.com was here, and you can also clear this filter out if you want to look at all the screenshot websites captured, but you can also optionally cause it to send an immediate alert. So this is an example of that alert. It says a high-risk website or app was accessed at the time on the device named Cam22. You need to log in order to view the high-risk item. So you come in, you get that alert on your phone or whatever, you log in, this is what you'd be looking at. You can immediately click, on the high-risk website or screenshot and then get a sense for, what was accessed. Now, those immediate alerts are optional. You don't have to have them turned on, but they're there if you want to. Now, one of the unique things about Truple is we do focus on pornography, but our solution is very universal in the sense that capturing screenshots helps with a ton of other issues as well, right? So not only will it help the parent monitor for pornographic or sexual content, it can also help with cyberbullying, either as the victim or the aggressor. It can help with sexting. It can help with excessive screen time, right? You can get a sense for how often they're using it based on the number of screenshots, and we also have a screen and app time report that you can look at as well. It will help with malicious sites as well. So say there's a website that's known to be malicious, whether it has viruses on it or something of that nature, or it tries to steal your information, or it's a phishing site that's PH phishing. Truple will do its best to flag and call those out. If you install one of the free filters that we recommend people do install, then you can actually have it block that content as well. But Truple helps with all of these issues because it gives parents real insight into how the device is being used. So if you have any questions, I hope this demo's been helpful and educational for you, but if you have any additional questions, feel free to email support@truple.io and we'll be happy to get back to you. Otherwise, feel free to sign up and we'll be happy to serve you.